Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Today morning when we started going through the various points discussed, we thought it would be better first to understand Mataji's words. Mataji's words are that you will read out. In this context, we remember the words of Puja Mataji Krishnabai. I wanted you all to read it 11 times so that your mind would turn within in Nirguna Brahman. 11 stands for the transcendental truth. There is a special reason for Papa making me asking you to read In Quest of God 11 times. It is intended to take you within. You may not attain Papa within you on the 11th reading, but you will at least have started going within. It is like entering the ashram gates. Once you are within the gates, you have nothing to fear. Likewise, once you turn your gaze within, you have nothing to worry. So in this in-depth study, the most essential thing that we have to bear in mind is, it is a purely an inward journey. But Vinobaji used to say, through inward journey, what we mean is jnana path, path of knowledge. Path of knowledge will undoubtedly burn down all the impurities of the mind, because we are trying to go beyond the mind, And in that process, it will burn down the mind also. But when associated with the weak flesh, that means when we come down, the power, its power proves to be inadequate. It cannot wash away subtle impurities. One has to take to recourse of bhakti for this purpose. It's a beautiful presentation, Jnanottara Bhakti. Path of knowledge, Inward journey. Mataji also said it is inward journey. Ultimately, you have to go within. To feel the presence of God within, to feel the presence of the core of our being within, none of the external aids will help us. Whatever may be ultimately we have to go within. But there is at that level, okay. But we will not be able to remain in that level. We will come down to the flesh level, the body level. At that time, subtle impurities will be there, which cannot be washed away by anything except through bhakti, surrender, devotion. So Papa is combining both. Today we will take up what he defines about Ram. Till yesterday, we were talking about grace. That is the first and foremost thing. We must become aware of the grace. Various churning was done. Ultimately, he revealed that the moment we become aware of the bounteous gifts given to us, we slowly become aware of his grace. Somebody said, breathing, anything that we do, whatever the sense organs function, eyes see, ears hear, tongue tastes, skin touches, nose smells. These are the 5 gateways through which the external stimuli are reported to our mind. But there is a power behind it, So we are in search of that power, not what the eyes have seen. What is it that makes the eye see? That is why Mataji said, in quest of God is stands for Nirguna Tattva. So when she wanted us to complete this 11, only recently we came to know that her idea was, I wanted you all to read it 11 times so that your mind would turn within to Nirguna Brahman. So every time Ram is in, who is Ram? Ram is in Nirguna Brahman. It stands for the transcendental truth. There is a special reason for Papa making me ask you to read In Quest of God daily for 11 days. It is intended to take you within. You may not attain Papa within you on the 11th reading, but you will at least have started going within. It is like entering the ashram gates. Once you are within the gates, you have nothing to fear. Likewise, once you turn your gaze within, you have nothing to worry. But none of us will be able to remain in that for a longer time. So when we come out, what happens? Unless we see the entire creation as His, because He is inside us, that is why we are there. Our inward journey has revealed to us that the core of being is there inside. It is the one which makes me feel I am, makes me to feel that I have a body, makes me to feel that I have got a mind, makes me to feel that I can do this, I can do that, sense of individuality. So similarly, when I come out, everywhere this is there. So Papa wants to combine this. Inside, okay, Nirguna Brahman. But when we come out, it is Saguna Brahman. This should be very, very clear in our mind. So it is mainly it is inward journey. And now let us see how Papa wants us to know about Ram. Understanding what Ram stands for. Clear, Raja? Now we all know that when we started taking up reading this book, most of us did not know that there is an article by Papa introducing Ram. Because we straight away start from first chapter. But before reading first chapter, because there he brings first great void and then Ram. And throughout then we only see Ram. So we should know who Ram is. So Papa has introduced Ram. Though beloved Papa has dealt with this vital factor Ram in the first article, entitled O Ram, O the truth, the love, the goal of human perfection, all hail, just before starting the chapter of In Quest of God, we were not able to understand the theme, nor develop a right concept, nor we felt deeply the need to know Ram seriously. First of all, we should know Ram is not an entity, but he is the subtle and mysterious power that pervades and sustains the whole universe. Birthless and deathless is he. He is present in all things and in all creatures who only appear as separate entities due to their ever-changing forms. To wake up from this illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, all creatures, all things, because Ram is in all is in Ram, Ram is all in all. So introducing, because it is a Nirguna Tattva, Papa finds it difficult probably to express it directly. Anything that you say, it cannot. So he takes a roundabout method. So this should get stamped in our heart. God is not an entity, but He is the subtle and mysterious power. Now words are coming out through the mouth. Body language goes along with it. Because He is there. He allows the words to come out. Because of His presence, the words are coming out. Because of His presence, the beingness is felt. The Sat aspect is felt. But the moment we open, we see different forms. But in different forms also, this is there, Then why are we feeling separate? Ever-changing forms. The same raw material, when it is undergoing a same process, the end product will be same. For example, a rod of iron, when it is passed through a lathe, set for a particular type of nut or bolt, when the process is on, the end product will be exactly the same. So when somebody places an order, one should not vary with the other, but here it is not like that. Here the raw material is the same, process is the same, but end products are different. In the form of human beings, in the form of animals, in the form of birds, in the form of trees, in the form of insects, so many, in the form of mountains, immobile, movable. Though the raw material is the same, the basic matter is the same. That is why it is called mysterious. It cannot be answered, but it is the truth. This first article, terrible. He is present in all things and in all creatures who only appear as separate entities due to their ever-changing forms. To wake up from this illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity and love of Ram. And love of Ram means we understand. Love of Ram means love of all beings. We understand from our level, no? Huh?
Audio.
Huh?
Audio disturbance.
So far it was not there.
No, it was there. Now you can speak.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
The forms are apparent, not real.
Forms are apparent, not real.
It is real for us. It is real. It is real in the sense it is the form of God. How can we say it is apparent? When we raise ourselves to the Nirguna Tattva, we can say that. At this level, it is not apparent, it is real. But it is not by itself existing, it is existing because of the power within. That is why Papa always used to make a mention about this. The world as world is real, unreal. The world as God is real. That means the inner core, the core of the being, core of everything, is one and the same. When we see that core expresses itself in various, as electricity expresses through various gadgets in various forms. Various forms. Similarly, we are to see the electricity is also not tangible, not palpable. It is also subtle. It is a power. But at the same time, the electricity also does not express itself in the same way in all gadgets. Even opposite tastes are there, no? When you put the heater, it produces heat. When you put the cooler, it becomes cool, no? The power being the same. So if we see electricity and then the form, there is no confusion. Similarly, we see the core of the being in everything. Everything is actuated by, motivated by, activated by that power. That when we try to realize it within ourselves, we have been assured we will be able to have the same vision everywhere. So that is why he says to wake up from this illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. To realize this great truth, we who through ignorance feel as separate individuals should submit ourselves to the will and working of that infinite power, who is one and all pervading. By a complete surrender to the will of Ram, we lose consciousness of the body, which keeps us aloof from Ram, and find ourselves in a state of complete identification, union with Ram, who is in us and everywhere around us. In this condition, hatred, which means consciousness of diversity, ceases, and love, consciousness of unity, is realized. That is how he introduces Ram. We should be, when we chant RAMNAM, it is to know this that he made us to chant RAMNAM. RAMNAM stands for Ram. It is not another. And the RAMNAM comes from him. That is why elsewhere we will mention that it is a password to enter. When we keep on chanting RAMNAM with this attitude, not mechanically, not merely consciously, but at the same time becoming aware that we are chanting the name of one who is within and who is making me to chant, who has given me a sense of individuality, who is through my sense organs activating various activities, who is the one who gives me the feeling of me as separate from him. Then he makes us to become union with him. Even to exist as separate one, we need him. Then he makes us to become one with him. Look at ourselves, Even when we were not knowing that Ram is within us, just like a truth, even if you don't know, the truth remains, Even when we don't recognize the truth still remains. That is called its truth. It is ever there. Similarly, Ram is ever with us. To know that we are chanting his name. Previously, we were chanting the name as a matter of routine, as a matter of discipline, an expression of our faith, an expression of our submission to our Guru's will. He said, or Mataji said, chant, write RAMNAM. That is how we were initiated into this RAMNAM. And at that chanting time, we though not fully, we get glimpses of joy. But again, when we are come back, the moment we come out of the session, we are again, the me and mine is full with us. Just imagine the 6 o'clock session in evening 6 o'clock session in Samadhi Mandirs. Very thrilling. All of them are pointed toward Nama, and Nama goes on beautifully with a rhythm. All the outgoing tendencies of the minds are definitely arrested. And then the Arati performed, slowly the Nama comes down. And with the slow RAMNAM, we do the Arati. And then finally, it stops. Symbolically, we are trying to ignite the light within, no? That is what is called Arati. And we are also remembering our gurus who are leading us, taking us, guiding us, and who have initiated us into the Nama. So 2, 3, 4 things are there at the time of this Arati. Our reverence for the Guru, the Nama trying to arrest all other thoughts, and finally culminates in our becoming aware of his presence within in the form of Arati. Light, light stands for awareness. And then we come out. At least for a few seconds, we are sure in everybody's mind that serenity, calmness, quietude stays. After that, we may be talking. But we have to watch whether, if we have attentively attended, if we have knowingly attended, if we have if we have become one with the chanting, what is happening to us, if it is partially with what is happening to us, everyone can evaluate. But we find we are unable to keep up that after the program. Because, various attractions, various commitments, various challenges, various duties. So here comes Papa's words, that once at the time of Arati, when we are in a position to make a, serious inward journey, you have provided us with a wonderful ambience and a powerful tool called RAMNAM, and then you make me to travel towards you inwardly, and finally I get the enlightenment or a glimpse of the enlightenment. And now the prayer is, allow me, please enable me to have this enlightenment not as a glimpse, but as a permanent, abiding truth. For all that our clarity on Rama helps. Ram is the subtle and mysterious power. Please think over. This divine love can be attained by humbling ourselves to such a degree as to totally subdue our egoism, our self-assertion as a separate individual existence. Having reached this stage, we, by the awakened consciousness of unity or love, are naturally prompted to sacrifice all the interest that concerns the body. This is the acid test. In the first article itself, he brings it. So we take it now, when we keep on going through this, ultimately the purity should reach such a level where the divine love can be attained by humbling ourselves to such a degree as to totally subdue our egoism. Only Ram is there. Our self-assertion as a separate individual existence is also gone. Separate, but for him we are there. Without him we are not there. Having reached this stage, we, by the awakened consciousness of unity, are naturally prompted to sacrifice all the interest that concerns the body for the welfare of our fellow men and fellow creatures who are the manifestations of Sri Ram. So that is So in the first article, when Papa introduces who Ram is, this is something we have to ponder over deeply. Then that is the key, you can say, okay. That is the key with which we open the mansion called In Quest of God. We should know, otherwise we may be just simply looking at it, that's all. We cannot enter into it. That is why he first that goal of human perfection. One more attribute. Human perfection. What is human perfection? When everything is done in perfection, that is Ram doing it. Yesterday, this aspect was brought out by many. When we consciously cut the vegetables, when we consciously handle everything, it becomes perfect. It is the grace pouring. That means the presence of him is there. So Papa says, goal of human perfection. That is Ram. Truth, love, the whole of human perfection. He couldn't contain, O Ram, the truth, the love, the goal of human perfection. So first aspect is Mataji, through Mataji's word we got the clarity that this will help us to know the Nirguna Tattva, and the purpose is to go with him. That means every chapter should enable us to go within. Push is there. Ram is there. That is why the word Ram is brought every time. Don't get stuck with the episodes. Don't get stuck with the situation. But think about Ram. Think about Ram. Think about Ram. Somebody made a count, how many times it has appeared?
396. 396.
Nearly 400 times. Nearly 400 times. In these 37 chapters, he mentions Ram. Just imagine. If the mathematics is an answer, 40 chapters mean 10, 10 times in a chapter. On an average, we are talking. Maybe more or less in some or more. Idea is, Papa is trying to bring him. We never knew that. We were just reading it. But his idea was to push us into a chamber where ultimately we will see Ram. We will have the vision of Ram. We will feel the presence of Ram. And we will see him everywhere. This inward journey, in that Tiruvannamalai cave, when he wrote about 21 days solitude and what he attained or what he enjoyed at the end of the 21st, we all interpret universal vision. It's not like that. That inward journey made him to realize the core of his being perfectly within. Previously also he has got, but perfectly within. And with that perspective, when he opened, he saw only a reflection of that reality in the form of various manifestations. So there also the inward journey is important. So RAMNAM chanting, the mental chanting is an inward journey. It need not necessarily be the vocal chanting. Especially people like us who are not full-timers, that means you are not sitting the whole waking hours with RAMNAM. It is not possible also. We must try to know first, through inward journey, the characteristic of Ram, and then with the world outside we are dealing with, so that at the subtle level we are always floating in that. At the gross level we will also be behaving like an individual. But at the subtle level, the common denominator has been identified. So today he chose to give emphasis on the word Ram. It is the second point. Today morning he prompted by noon that all these points, can be categorized for our easy absorption. For making our journey smooth, the above process, that is the inward journey process, has been split into easily understandable categories. First is preparatory measures. Second is ponder simultaneously on. Third one is sadhana. And fourth one is daily practice. So when we started going deeper into it, there are 32 gems we got. Under different categories we placed. Then so there should be some preparatory measures. In any activity we do, there should be some preparatory measures. Even if we are planting it, first with the mamati we clean everything. We loosen the soil, apply manure, water it, and then plant. Similarly, preparatory measure. So what should, under preparatory measure, first one comes grace. Second one comes understanding what Ram stands for. And third is connecting the subtle and mysterious power Ram with the spirit. Some more clarity. Ram, spirit, Atman, Brahman are all synonyms. They are not separate. So to know the spirit is to know Ram. Because normally, we easily understand spirit, spiritual. We say spirit and spirit, matter and spirit. So here, our body is material, and the spirit dwelling in this body is spiritual. We must think, feel and realize that we are not merely the bodies, but we are immortal spirit. It is that spirit that makes us walk, talk and do everything. To make it more clear, most of us have read this many a times, but still, for the sake of others and for our own, because this has to be hammered, how does Ram, to know Ram, I understand the spirit, and through spirit I understand Ram. The greatest creation and the greatest gift of God is this human body, working under the direct supervision of the Spirit. Working under the direct supervision of the Spirit. Our heart beats about 1 lakh times a day and about 35 million times a year. It pumps 6 liters of blood through 1,20,000 kilometers of blood vessels in a day. And in 1 second, we are producing 1.2 millions of red blood cells to replace an equal number that die. Our digestive and metabolic systems have the remarkable ability to transform the food we eat into blood, bone, and body. The air which we breathe but cannot see contains oxygen, which is exchanged for the excess of carbon dioxide inside and then thrown out without us even knowing about it. Every time we cut a wound, we get a cut or a wound, within seconds there is tremendous amount of activity in and around the wound to seal and heal it. The system inside us is greater than the defense system of this country. It is greater and more foolproof than the security system around the president of the greatest nation. The wisdom, this is very important, the wisdom necessary to fertilize an egg and turn it into a fully grown man or woman is beyond our intelligence. How from the seed, from the seed level to this level, the wisdom necessary to fertilize an egg and to turn it into a fully grown man or woman is beyond our intelligence. At the helm of this pinnacle of perfection is defense, is the brain overseeing all these miraculous activities. Thus there are two sides in ourselves. Let us call them the body of the spirit or man and God. The same power, Ram or spirit, which is responsible for this inner movement, is responsible also for the outer movements. We see the wind blow, the sun giving light, the trees grow, the birds sing, so many movements and changes going around us. So after introducing, these are all preparatory measures. The mind is just like, the land is made cultivable, We make some preparatory measures before sowing the seed. Here also, the preparatory measures, through IQG, Papa talks about the need to become aware of the grace, the need to have clarity on this core of our being, Ram, and also to know how he functions, how he makes the various activities through the body first. And only because of that, we are able to function as an individual. The brain is there, for the rest of the thing. Then, not only within us, then we start seeing it in and around us, how the sunlight, how the sun is able to help us exist in this world, help all the creations exist in the world. How the air helps, how the earth helps, how the space helps. So far we have not applied our mind, because we were taking everything as granted. So these preparatory measures are necessary. And now comes the me is there, Me, the sense of individuality, and Ram, the indwelling and all-pervading reality. Throughout the entire tour, Ramdas felt at every step that his great master Ram was guiding and determining all circumstances and events in his itinerary. Ram, who controlled the destiny of all lives, was here mysteriously at work. In fact, he made all the plans, looking to the minutest detail, and carried them out himself with alertness, skill, and care. By these words, Papa is making us to know this is the stage you have to reach. He provides the ambience, he provides the necessary capability, and then he makes us to deliver it. Once again, very important. Throughout the entire tour, Ramdas felt at every step that his great master Ram was guiding and determining all circumstances and events in his itinerary. Ram, who controls the destiny of all lives, was here mysteriously at work. In fact, he made all the plans looking to the minutest detail, carried them out himself with alertness, skill, and care. But here the CEO is a very, very unique CEO. In a company there will be a CEO, There, when he attends to a particular employee, he will not be able to give the same attention to another employee unless he is an advanced person. Here, in every individual, suppose in the whole world there are about 800 crores of human beings. It was somewhere about 700, now it must have been 800. Only human beings we are talking. Rest of the creation we are not bringing in. And in each one he is there. And he is taking care of this creation individually. In every one, this is going on 1 lakh times. What did we read? 1 lakh times this heart beats. 6 liters of blood through 1,20,000 kilometers of blood vessels. It passes. It pumps 6 liters of blood through 1,20,000 kilometers of blood vessels in a day. In 1 second, we are producing 1.2 millions of red blood cells to replace an equal number that die. The digestive metabolic system, the brain system. See, just think about it. We are not touching other species, plant kingdom or animal kingdom. No, we are only talking about human beings. Thus speaks Ramdas. First, he will say, he is full and complete in every creation. He is not less in somebody, more in somebody. That is called mysterious, Though he is Ram is the ultimate, Ram who controlled the destiny of all lives, was here mysteriously at work. How is it possible? That is why he is called Sarva Shaktiman, omnipotent. Just imagine, 800 crores of people, in 800 crores of people, the same thing is going on. The heart beats, the breathing goes on, the digestion goes on. If there is any defect, it's called disease, by and large, The enormity of his potentiality. So these are all preparatory measures. Such a one is doing meticulously in our life. Such a one has given me the me, the sense of me. And he is the potential. He is activating in everybody equally. So when we think about Ram, we are slowly transported to a different realm. These are all preparatory. Because if we get grounded in this, our inward journey will become smooth, faster. Ramdas played two parts in discharging the great mission with which God entrusted to him. Firstly, as an eternal witness of the world drama, as Ram, a witness who was dispassionate, unaffected, pure, blissful. Secondly, as an actor on the world stage, who performed his role in consonance with the divine initiative and will by spreading the unique message of universal love and service in the countries visited. In playing both these parts, as witness and as actor, Ramdas was under the dominating sway and protection of his Almighty Ram. Another point for all of us, The same thing, all of us have been given these two roles. The indwelling reality as Ram and the outer me, the actor. If we are conscious of this, we are always conscious of Ram. Ramdas, being one with Ram, knew he was everybody and everything. For Ram had granted him the realization that he, Ramdas, and the world are not different. As power, God prompts and propels our beings and creatures to action. As the static spirit, he witnesses and sanctions all movements in nature, himself remaining ever still, calm, radiant, the support and illuminator of the visible manifest life. So 4 points now in the preparatory measures. What are they? What are they?
Yes, please. Kindly repeat it, please.
Awareness of grace, Mataji.
Awareness of the grace, number one.
Clarity on Ram.
Clarity on Ram. Then vehicle got stuck there. Spirit and Ram. Spirit and Ram. Okay, then fourth one. Ram and the individual. Me. So again we will repeat. In the preparatory measures, to become aware of the grace, to have first clarity about Ram, and now we try to understand Ram through spirit. Spirit is easy for us to understand through its functions, and the spirit of Ram and me, two actors. The last portion again we will read, because this has come in World is God. Ramdas played two parts in discharging the great mission with which God entrusted him. First, as an eternal witness of the world drama, a witness who was dispassionate, unaffected, pure, blissful. Secondly, as an actor on the world stage, who performed his role in consonance with the divine initiative and will by spreading the unique message of universal love and service wherever he visited. In playing both these parts, as witness and an actor, Ramdas was under the dominating sway and protection of his Almighty Ram. What a wonderful clarity this in-depth study has brought out, Becoming aware of the grace, getting more clarity on the word Ram, which he uses 400 times in the book. We have some idea about spirit and matter, so we say what is spirit and Ram, and okay, what is its connection with me as an individual? So these are all the background. Rest of the three, in each category, Papa prompted us to have 8 points. That means 4 into 8, 32 points have emerged. And the last portion is the daily practice. Along with the practice, we have what we have to ponder, that is also categorized. So this categorization may look academic, it may, but a lot of sadhana is there, Inward journey, knowingly and unknowingly we will do. So we would request all of you to kindly take it up with that attitude. So many things are coming out of this churning, every day. Ultimately, to make our RAMNAM more and more effective, we are functioning as an individual. We will continue to function as an individual till our body is dropped. So what we are aiming at is to become aware of certain things. And RAMNAM is the one which will, whenever we are off that line, it will immediately put us on the rail. And to have this RAMNAM, the way in which it should be done, as Papa told Puja Swamiji, if doubts will be there if you have not chanted RAMNAM properly. Now we understand that language. This has to be done one by oneself. But we are used to this collective and individual sadhana, so we will, in order that we do individual sadhana perfectly, we are making use of this collective sadhana, that's all. And unless and until individual sadhana goes on along with this, we will not be having the benefit. It may be at the memory level. So each one has to do this individual sadhana along with whatever he places before us, which is very, very important. So the first category called preparatory, we have covered about 4 half. Another 4, we will take it up tomorrow. Because we are not in a hurry to finish up anything. We are trying to go deep into everything. And this should be marked always, underlined. All these things are to make our RAMNAM more effective. When we understand that it is the password to divinity, or as Papa says, it is a link to, name is the link between us and God. These two, to make it a reality, we are passing through all these things. Because we continue to function as individual only. As Mataji said in the preamble now, by reading this we are not going to become. But it is intended to take you within. You may not attain Papa within you on the 11th reading, but you will at least have started going within. It is like entering the ashram gates Once you are within the gates, you have nothing to fear. Likewise, once you turn your gaze within, you have nothing to worry. Very powerful word. At the time of initiating these 11 days IQG, Mataji brought out this. So let us try to ponder over deeply. When she said it is for Nirguna Tattva, I wanted you all to read it 11 times so that your mind would turn within to Nirguna Brahman. Every now and then we have to bring these dimensions into our heart. Because we are not exclusively sitting with this. That is why. If you are exclusively sitting, not necessary. Anything? Anybody would like to share anything?
Swamiji,
Ah.
one clarification.
Ah.
That is, RAMNAM, if Om is added, means 6.5 crores will be enough. And without Om, it should be 13 crores. Mataji has said like that. What is the difference between these two?
Why not we do it and see for ourselves? Papa said, without Om, we can do this much. With Om, we can do this much, but you need not make any count. You need not make any count. Automatically, when it reaches 6 crores, you will get enlightened. So all those things become irrelevant now. How much we do.
Another guidance from Swamiji, whether you can have this, Mataji's voice or Papa's voice, as a guidance and then go along with it, or out of the box and then be individual. Individual sadhana.
Individual sadhana or go with their words?
Individual sadhana is the must. They are giving us clues. We take up individually our own sadhana, our own method. These are all guidelines, handposts, but traveling should be done by us. How do we do that? We try to go along with what they say, and when we meet, we are unable to proceed further. We try to ask ourselves, the self within, and then mysteriously the guidance comes from within. That is how Papa could scale the heights. That is how Mataji could scale the heights. That is how everyone could scale the heights. If there is only one method, there is no need for so many Mahatmas and so many paths. Each one has evolved their own path. Papa has made it very clear. Even if what Ramdas says, if it is not in alignment with your inner, this thing, don't follow. This is what he said. Emphatic. So they have... So what is important is whether, forget about the number. You know that Mataji was particular about 15,500 crores. Papa said that will distract your attention. Both are right. You choose. When we become conscious that we have done so much, unknowingly we may feel, we have done this much. We never think that God made us to do this. So that is why Papa wanted that don't have any count. But if we go without count, it will be a non-starter, 100% sure. Today we will chant 1 mala, 2 mala, 3 malas. The next day the preoccupations will come, priority will come. I will come and do in the evening. Evening something will come. Tomorrow I will do it. Like that, it gets diluted. Mataji knows our weakness. So Mataji said, fix up a target. And so that, என்ன ஆற்றுல போட்டாலும் அளந்து போடு. So in that way, each one has to decide. Both are right. Somebody was explaining to us that we don't remember exactly who it was. Yogiji Maharaj, had a mental conflict because he heard Papa telling that name is everything. He was also a great admirer of JK. JK said word name is nothing. Apparently it is paradoxical, So then by the time this was mounting up in his mind, Papa had dropped the body, no chance of getting it clarified. So then only JK was available. So he found out where JK was to so many places. Finally he came to know that he was in Madras. So he went to Vasanta Vihar, and then because of the dress, the gateman did not allow. At that time in the terrace, JK was walking. Suddenly he saw Yogi Maharaj, came down running towards him, hugged him, and whispered in his eyes, both are right. So when we pass on certain stages, so we should not get stuck with anything. Our own digging within will definitely give us more and more clarity. And he will supply. When suppose for clarity's sake, whatever is needed as an input from outside, he will supply. 100%, I tell you, he will be supplying it. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. So tomorrow we will take up the rest. These 4 preparatory measures in the 4 points that we have covered. Awareness, becoming aware of the grace, getting clarity on the word Ram, linking Ram with the spirit, and linking Ram with me, the sense of individuality. These are all the 4 points that were covered today. Please think over it, and then when we chant RAMNAM, try to apply. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.